There was everywhere in Canada a very rich and very experimental and exciting amateur theatre, everywhere.
And in the beginning we had neither plumbing nor electricity. We worked with candles in the barn for the lighting and an outdoor john, you know. But a couple of years later we got both plumbing and electricity in. And it was in that barn on the outskirts of Toronto the Canadians caught their first glimpse of some of the European and American masters.
And that little Ottawa audience that came every night, unbelievable. I don't know how they put up with us, because they finally got to understand and sympathize. So they would kind of look for these awful, embarrassing moments and then share in them. And if we broke up on stage, which we did constantly out of sheer terror and hysteria, they would break up too. They'd forgiven us, and they came nevertheless. They were gallant. They deserved medals. They'd come through snowstorms to see a bunch of idiot actors not say the text. Very funny, very sweet, actually.
Our objective, when I say our, I'm referring mainly to Jean Gascon. Our objective was to establish in Montreal and in the province of Quebec in general a real professional theatre with a professional level of quality.
Sidney Risk founded the first professional theatre in the West, if you will accept that professional means you are paid to do it, even though that might only be $20 a week or whatever it was.
Everything we did in those days was brand new because it was breaking new ground. And, you know, during the late 40s and 50s, an enormous number of people who were coming to our shows were probably seeing theater for the first time in their lives, you know, so that it all had the excitement of breaking new ground.
It was the Davises who gave me the opportunity to direct professionally in Toronto, as they did many others. So that I think their importance is the courage to start a brand new repertory theater at the Crest on Mount Pleasant, north of St. Clair, in whenever it was. I mean, that was very courageous. And they allowed the theater to take its first post-war professional steps.
When we were starting out, of course, it was all the small amateur and community theaters all across Canada, and everything, even Stratford, of course, drew on those actors who got their training in places as far removed as the Maritimes and Victoria and Vancouver.
My feeling is that I think it's astounding the success of the theater experiences here when you think of the population. This is a very small population. I mean, there are more people in the state of California than there are in all of Canada. So that anything happens here is wonderful. And the fact that it happened in the 40s and the 50s is just amazing.